The observation deck of Station Kalos hummed with the nervous energy of 100 different species, all maintaining a careful distance from the reinforced containment cell at the center. Inside, a small creature paced in tight circles, Var, a juvenile Krathax, barely 3 cycles old, but already possessing the razor-sharp claws and crystalline fangs that made his species the apex predators of the Outer Rim. The station's xenobiologists had tried everything. Sedatives barely slowed him. Holographic projections of his homeworld only made him more agitated. Even the Krathax diplomatic envoy, a towering warrior named Selthor, couldn't approach without triggering Var's panic response. The cub had been orphaned during a pirate raid, found drifting in an escape pod, traumatized and feral. Another failure, muttered Dr. Velnak, his chitinous plates clicking in frustration. The insectoid scientist had devoted 3 standard months to rehabilitating Var, watching helplessly as the cub deteriorated. His vitals are declining. Without socialization, without trust, he'll enter terminal stress within days. The assembled experts nodded grimly. No one had ever successfully rehabilitated a traumatized Krathax juvenile. Their predatory instincts, designed for survival in the death worlds of the Krath system, made them nearly impossible to calm once fear took root. That's when Mira walked in. She was human, barely 16 years old by Earth reckoning, daughter of the station's chief engineer. Her presence violated at least a dozen safety protocols, but she'd slipped past security with the kind of determination that made humans simultaneously admired and feared across the galaxy. "Excuse me," she said quietly, her voice cutting through the murmur of concerned scientists. "I'd like to try." The observation deck fell silent. Dr. Velnak's antennae twitched in disbelief. "Absolutely not. Your species may have a reputation for recklessness, but this is—" "Look at him," Mira interrupted, pressing her hand against the transparent barrier. Inside, Var had frozen, his 6 eyes fixed on her with an intensity that made several observers step back. "He's not aggressive. He's terrified." Selthor, the Krathax envoy, moved closer. His massive frame towered over the human girl, claws that could split starship hull plating flexing unconsciously. "Young human, I appreciate your courage, but even I cannot reach him. His fear has made him see all beings as threats. What makes you believe you can succeed where I have failed?" Mira turned to face the warrior, showing no fear despite the fact that he could end her life with a casual swipe. That was pure human audacity, Selthor thought, the same trait that had allowed them to claw their way from a single endangered world to become a major galactic power in less than 2 centuries. "Because," Mira said simply, "I know what it's like to lose everything and be surrounded by aliens who don't understand you." The words hung in the air. Everyone on the station knew the story. Mira's colony ship had been attacked by the same pirate fleet that killed Var's family. She'd watched her mother die in the evacuation. She understood trauma in a way that no amount of xenobiological training could teach. Dr. Velnak's mandibles worked nervously. "The risk, I accept it," Mira said. "Please, let me try." After a tense consultation, they agreed. Strict conditions were set. Sealed emergency protocols, medical teams on standby, Selthor positioned to intervene at the first sign of danger. They opened a small access panel, barely large enough for Mira to squeeze through. She entered the containment cell slowly, deliberately making herself small. She didn't approach Var directly, another human instinct that defied conventional xenobiological wisdom. Instead, she sat down against the far wall, making herself as non-threatening as possible. Var hissed, his crystalline fangs extending. His claws scarred the floor, but he didn't attack. "Hey there," Mira whispered, not looking directly at him. "I'm not going to hurt you. I promise." For 10 minutes, nothing happened. The observers held their collective breath. Mira simply sat, occasionally humming a soft tune, an old Earth lullaby her mother used to sing. The melody was nothing special, just a simple human comfort sound, but something about it seemed to cut through Var's panic. Gradually, incrementally, the cub's defensive posture relaxed. His pacing slowed. His eyes, all 6 of them, remained locked on Mira, but the wild terror was fading, replaced by something else. Curiosity, perhaps. Or hope. "That's it," Mira encouraged, still not moving. "You're safe now. No one's going to hurt you." Selthor watched in amazement as Var took a tentative step forward, then another. The cub approached with the uncertain gait of a creature caught between instinct and desperate need for connection. When Var was close enough, Mira slowly extended her hand, not reaching for him, just offering. It was a gesture so fundamentally human, so rooted in a primate ancestry of social grooming and trust building, that it shouldn't have meant anything to an apex predator from a completely different evolutionary tree. But Var understood. The cub pressed his scaled snout against her palm. A soft thrumming sound emerged from his chest, not a growl but the Krathak's equivalent of a purr. Mira's eyes filled with tears as she gently stroked the creature that every expert had declared beyond help. "Good boy," she whispered. "You're going to be okay." Dr. Velnik's instruments went wild, recording data that would revolutionize xenopsychology. Selthor felt something unfamiliar in his warrior's heart, a profound respect mixed with humility. "How?" he asked as Mira eventually emerged, Var following her like a devoted shadow. "How did a human child accomplish what our greatest experts could not?" Mira shrugged, scratching behind Var's auditory ridges. "Sometimes it's not about being the smartest or the strongest. Sometimes you just need to recognize pain when you see it, and be brave enough to sit with it." In the weeks that followed, Var thrived under Mira's care. Their bond became legendary throughout the station, the human girl and the predator cub, proof that connection could transcend biology, evolution, and fear. The galaxy would later record this as another example of human exceptionalism, their impossible ability to form bonds across species barriers. But those who witnessed it understood the deeper truth. It wasn't that humans were special. It was that they refused to accept that anyone was unreachable, unloved, or beyond redemption. And sometimes that stubborn, reckless compassion was exactly what the universe needed.